Because I think Bezos did. He built like the biggest boat in the world.
Yeah.
And it's just like sitting there.
Well, he built a boat that they were going to have to dismantle a bridge.
Like a historic
to get
bridge.
it through in Holland.
And they were like, no.
The blowback was so heavy, they decided to not do that. So I guess they have to like get the boat out of the shipyard and then rebuild it somewhere else or finish building it. But
that
it's
sounds
so
very
big.
expensive. Yeah. Sounds expensive.
But it's a fucking ridiculously long boat. It's like a 500-foot long boat or something like that.
Who do you bring on that boat with you? With
all the bitches.
With
all the bitches. All the coke. Suitcases of coke.
It's a lot of coke, Joe.
EDM. The whole crew.
Morning Stars, you name it.
Yeah, the whole deal.
Maybe a horse. Is that a horse? What's that horse doing here? Oh, God.
What does he do with all that money? It's like, I think when you become a person that's just chasing money.
Right.
I don't think you ever... You never get that fix. It's like you're always just wanting the newest, latest, greatest thing.
Right.
I was talking to this person who is, they're like an attendant on a yacht, on a super yacht.
Yeah.
And I was asking her, I was like, well, what does the guy who owns the yacht do? And he was like some telecommunications guy in another country.
Yeah.
He's got, billions of dollars.
Interesting.
And she goes, you know what's interesting? She goes, all of these yachts are all for sale. I go, really? She goes, yeah. They're always trying to get newer, better ones. So they buy this yacht, and it's, like worth $50 million.
Right.
And then they're like, I'm not good enough. And then they want a $70 million yacht. And then they see their buddy who got a $100 million yacht. Look at Frank.
How is yacht technology advancing that much? You need the latest one so soon. Like, what's the difference between a yacht that was made 2 years ago and the one that's made today?
That's a good question. I know they're super expensive to run. I have a friend who owns a yacht.
Yeah.
And he got an older one, and he's like super successful producer of television shows and films and stuff like that. He's very, very wealthy.
Nice.
But he buys
Dick Wolf?
older one. Nope, I don't know that guy. Law and Order. I bet he's got multiple yachts.
Is it Dick Wolf?
Jeff Bezos has kind of gone red pill, and since his divorce. You guys remember? Like Jeff Bezos when he did this interview.
Did you read the Times this morning, New York Times?
Yeah, I saw the Times this morning.
At one point on Friday, Amazon.com's total stock market value surged past $30 billion, making it worth more than a major industrial company like Texaco. That didn't blow your mind when you read it?
Well, I think if you're asking for sort of an emotional response, I think it's very humbling. And it creates a sense of responsibility.
According to my calculations, you yourself are worth somewhere in the vicinity of $9 or $10 billion today. I only say that because I've got a follow-up question.
Okay.
What's with the Honda?
This is a perfectly good car.
In July of 1995, from this modest ranch house outside Seattle, Bezos sold his first book. Today, he has 5 huge warehouses in the United States and Europe, packed not only with books, but with CDs and movies.
How crazy is that, right? And how much has he changed? I really think it was an influence, of his wife, and once that divorce happened, he got really red-pilled. Now he's walking around looking like this, jacked on TRT. He's spending money and also has more influence from the new girl that he's dating. Like he's going to movie awards, meeting superstars, doing yacht vacations. I bet you it was her idea for him to build a yacht too, because before he wasn't big on yachts. He got caught once or twice now with this new girlfriend renting them. And then now suddenly he's commissioning this $500 million yacht. Also, as a side note here, all these YouTubers and articles and places, they're always showing pictures of the yacht of Jeff Bezos, and it's never the actual yacht, and that bothers me because I'm like, well, show the real one. This is the picture of it coming out of the Norwegian or whatever shipyard, right? And you guys may have seen those pictures. That's what it looks like. It's not one of these more modern yachts. I mean, it is modern, just the design is different. And then when I gotta admit, when I saw this, I was like, 500 million, this doesn't look that great. But you got to understand, it's a lot bigger than it looks. Look at the size of the people right there beside the yacht. That's where you're like, whoa, it's huge. Now, here's a picture with the sails up. Now, as you can see, that's a whole nother thing. That looks really cool. The black sails like that. Hey, everybody's got yachts now. I heard it's 10% per year of the value of the yacht to operate it. So $500,000 yacht, you're looking at probably $50 million. Even if it was on the cheap end, $10 million to operate something that large, because it has a crew and they have to stay usually year round, depending on where, how you operate it. So it's a lot of manpower on that thing. I don't know. To each their own. I always, felt weird about stuff like that, because you wonder, like, the people who work for you, to help, to have people in such an intimate environment. I don't know if you guys ever watched that Below Deck show. This was on Bravo, I guess, but now it's kind of syndicated everywhere. You can catch it on some of the Hulu, I believe, some of these. And it's just, I don't know, you have people around you, and these are just young, waiters or staff, and they're talking shit, and they're behind your back, and you got to worry about stealing. You got to worry about these people learning some intimate thing about you and then selling that information to the tabloids. I don't know, it just seems very difficult to live your life normally, and I would be more isolated. I would be more fearful. And I know that there's this level of professionality. God knows, I used to work at a very high-end hotel, and, we were discreet, but people talking shit. I mean, it happened all the time, and it's no different. And you see that in the show Below Deck. There's still a bunch of drama, a bunch of bullshit. So I just wouldn't trust. And I've hired people in my, in my businesses, and things have ended very badly. And one time I went on a conference call, which I was constantly missing these calls, and one of my employees was negotiating or talking to one of these suppliers or whatever. I just happened to make it this time. I'm like, okay, she said it was going to be now. So I call into it, and I call into them talking, and she's just talking shit the whole time. So I'm just listening. And so I'm listening to her talk shit. I was like, they don't know what they're doing. If they didn't have me, what would they do? So I got to come in here and fix this stuff. And I'm just listening and listening and listening. Even the people on the phone were kind of like, man, they didn't know what to say, because what are you going to do? You're there to close a deal, not to hear somebody talk shit about their boss, right? And then when there was a pause, and I just spoke, and I was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm here. And there was just, they started laughing, and she was just dead silent. And anyway, I ended up firing her, shortly after for other reasons, but it just goes to show. And then it was a shit show when I fired her. It just goes to show you, when you let people close to you, you're taking a risk. And I don't like that, especially in these displays, these ostentatious displays of wealth. And I'm just supposed to hang out and be served by all these people. I'm always thinking they're all Judas. They're all, up to no good. I don't like it. I like to lay low profile. I like to be humble. I like to be friendly with people, but I also like my privacy. And I don't mind cooking and tending to myself. Maybe I would rent a yacht, rent it for a little bit, but I don't want to be responsible for these people on payroll talking shit, all this weird. No, not for me. What do you guys think? I will say before I go, have you seen, they all have yachts. Zuckerberg, right? He's got this Ulysses. And he's got like this 700-acre compound in Hawaii. He's just buying up land. All of these guys that people thought were very humble, they don't spend a lot of money. They're spending it now. And I'll tell you, Zuckerberg's the only one still married, right? I wonder how long that's going to last. Maybe they'll stick together. Maybe they'll be one of the few. But after seeing Bill Gates even got divorced, then Jeff Bezos, it's like, these billionaires are unable to keep their wives happy. So we'll see. But I bet you another 10 years, they won't make it. But we'll see. What do you guys think? Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, buy red and sell green.